Hey everybody, it's Lon.TV, and we've got some breaking news today. LG, the big TV manufacturer, has dropped support for ATSC 3 on their new televisions. There was a lawsuit over patents that caused this, and we're going to dig into what happened and what might happen next. Let's get to it. Now, first, I want to give a huge shout out to Cord Cutters News, and if you're not familiar with that website, definitely check it out because they cover all sorts of issues related to cutting the cord, including this one. And this is how I found out about this today, and they have an article that my friend Luke will be updating as things develop here. So definitely check it out because there might be some news breaking since the time that I recorded this video. And again, it's cordcuttersnews.com, and you can go to the article directly with the link you see here on screen. Now, what prompted all of this was this filing that LG made to the FCC. Now, in their filing to the FCC, LG reminds the Commission that they were one of the co-developers of the ATSC 3 standard in the first place, and that's why their decision is so significant here. And they mention also a partner company called Zenith. And I know growing up back in the 70s and 80s, I had a Zenith television at my house. My father would only buy Zenith TVs up until you couldn't buy them anymore. And they are still around, actually. LG bought them, and they're now kind of an IP holding company for television technology. And they license out the technologies to other companies. And if you were wondering what happened to Zenith, they're still here. You can go to their website and check them out. Now, the lawsuit is involving the A/322 physical layer standard, and this is related to the broadcast signal itself. It's like the foundation of all this other stuff. So this is not about DRM, it's not about video compression technology, it is involving the signal and a company who claims that they have the IP rights to how that signal is engineered. And if you go further into this filing, you'll read a little bit more about how patents with the ATSC 3 standard work. So basically, the standard has a number of patents from a number of companies that all kind of have to work together here. And what they say in the filing is that there's thousands of patent families that have some connection to ATSC 3. So how are all these patents managed? Well, all of the participants in the ATSC 3 standard have mutual interests to some degree. So what they've done is they've come up with a system in which you can license these patents in a much more convenient way and in a way that is reasonable and non-discriminatory, and that some companies don't get favorable terms over others. So everybody pays the same. And they do that through something called a patent pool. And currently, according to the filing, there are two different patent pools. One is operated by Avanci Broadcast, and the other one is run by the VIA Licensing Alliance, which used to be known as the MPEG Alliance. And what they do is they collect all of these patents, and they charge a very reasonable rate per unit for the use of those patents. And per unit means per TV sold, for example. And those licenses right now are about $2.75 for the VIA, and Avanci, I think, is between $2.75 and $3. And if more patents join the pool, the agreement is the price doesn't go up. So it's fixed, it's predictable, and manufacturers can plan what their licensing costs will be when they are costing out what a television will cost for the consumer when they manufacture it. And here from the Avanci website, you can see what licensors are on their platform, and they include LG, who designed part of the standard, along with Sharp and Samsung and all the other companies that have some IP that goes into bringing those ATSC 3 broadcasts to the home. But there's no regulation that requires a company to be a part of the patent pool, and that's what brings us to this lawsuit. So from the filing here, LG says there was a company called Constellation Designs LLC who claimed that part of the A/322 standard was a technology that they developed. Now, LG does not believe they have a claim to that part of the technology, but there was a lawsuit, and guess what? LG lost the lawsuit, and now they have to pay $6.75 for every TV that they've already sold with the Next Gen TV logo to this company called Constellation Designs LLC. It looks like a very small company. They've got a very basic website here along with some technical stuff on what they've developed. But this lawsuit, even though it's not a huge verdict, is going to have some serious reverberations because, remember, this involves how the signal is received by the television. And this technology is in every ATSC 3 tuner, not just the ones that LG is manufacturing. They went after LG first because they were the ones that designed it. And so I think this is only the tip of the iceberg when it comes to these patent lawsuits. Now, what really surprised me about this verdict is how small it is in the grand scheme of things. Only $1.6 million. And if you do the math on this, it's only about 250,000 units. Now, remember, the broadcasters have been telling us that their DRM encryption that they're doing to lock down all these TV signals is not a big deal because we're going to have so many of these TVs out there with this tuner on board. Well, it doesn't look like they're selling all that many. If LG is only selling 250,000 units and now they're not going to be selling any more. So we're going to have to keep an eye on this lawsuit. And the reason that we need to keep an eye on it is that there's more to come here because this lawsuit did not address royalties for future sales. And this is likely why LG is making the announcement they're making to try to get out of this mess before they have more obligation to the company that won the lawsuit here. And what I think is going to happen next is that the plaintiffs here are going to sue other companies that are using this technology that was derived from whatever LG put together initially. And they're going to try to collect that $6.75 from everyone they can. And if you're making a television, you've got to decide, is it worth it at this point? Who else is going to come out of the woodwork and try to collect even more patent revenue on something that we're not even sure is going to be adopted at scale? And although I think TV manufacturers have to have some tuner built in to call it a television, they could just as easily make an in-home monitor that doesn't have to have a tuner on it at all. So this does not bode well for the future of the standard. And in their filing, LG also kind of referred to some other players out there looking at this issue as well and basically operating outside of these patent pools and outside of some of the agreements that some of the stakeholders have made for trying to keep these licensing costs down. So there's a lot of uncertainty happening in the ATSC 3 market at the moment, and I think this will certainly hurt adoption. My prediction is that I think most of these big companies are going to try to get together and buy the plaintiffs here, just get them out of the market completely so that they don't get hit with any more of these patents. But who knows what else is out there? And so this is just another complication making the rollout of this new TV standard all the more difficult. Now, to follow updates on this, you can follow me on X, which used to be known as Twitter. Lon.TV/Twitter will take you over there. I post quite a bit on the service throughout the day, and I'm starting to put my videos up there as well. And you can also find Cord Cutters News on Twitter and, of course, on their website. And I'll be posting more on this as we know more. But I do think this is a significant development that will undoubtedly slow down the adoption rate of ATSC 3. And if LG is going into production on next year's televisions and not including that tuner, even if they get these guys out of the market, it's going to take them time to put that tuner back in for future iterations. So this is going to be a story we will continue to follow, and unfortunately it's yet another impediment for rolling out this standard, which I really believe is better than the current standard we have. If they just didn't have the encryption on board, this is a game-changing technology for over-the-air TV consumption. Where I live in Connecticut, I can finally get all of my broadcasters off a single antenna. Everything looks great. The signal is stronger than it is on any of the other ATSC 1 towers. And for the first time in my life, even back when I had the Zenith TV, I can finally get everything over the air, minus the 2 stations that have locked down their signals with encryption. So we've got more to come on that topic as well, but I did want to make a video today to talk about this. This is nothing to celebrate. It's all unfortunate the way the industry is trying to encrypt everything, and now we've got this patent problem. Let's hope they can all work it out and make it a good standard for consumers, which is what they promised in the first place. That's going to do it for now. Until next time, this is Lon Seidman. Thanks for watching.
This channel is brought to you by the Lon.TV supporters, including gold level supporters Brian Parker, Chris Allegretta, Hot Sauce in Video Games, Logic KGR, Tom Albrecht, and Amda Brown. If you want to help the channel, you can by contributing as little as $1 a month. Head over to Lon.TV/support to learn more. And don't forget to subscribe. Visit Lon.TV/s.